Hello folks, welcome to Growth Grind. In this video, we are going to explore 4 phases of performance marketing. These phases, this entire roadmap will help you create and plan and execute and optimize successfully any campaign for any types of businesses. This roadmap actually was born out of my own challenges and my own struggles when I was working almost 5 years ago, getting started with performance marketing. Just like some of you, I used to take a look at the brief, create campaigns, and hope for the best, right? But after many unsuccessful such attempts, I was able to realize this is not how it's going to work, especially when I was getting projects in B2B, B2C, D2C, and all kinds of areas in all kinds of industry. So these phases of performance marketing actually come from my own personal experience. And this is what I use whenever I'm now dealing with a new project in any industry. This has worked for e-commerce, this has worked for B2B, fintech, this has even worked for B2C, interior, travel, real estate, and many more such industries. So let's dive deep without delaying much further. 4 phases of performance marketing, a full roadmap for your success, right? More like campaign success, to be honest. So these are the 4 phases of performance marketing, your complete roadmap to plan, launch, and scale winning campaigns across the board on any platform. The first phase is research. Without research, if you go ahead, you'll be blinded by where to go, right? So research actually helps you see the data that is already there. It may not be your own, it may be outside data, your competitors or something, but that's a good way to start. Coming into planning, through this research data, you actually prepare a plan of what kind of communication you are going to do, what type of targeting that you are going to do, what kind of platforms you are going to choose to reach to your target audience, and many such more details. This ties into step number 3, which is execution. Platforms are ever changing. Many things are happening on the platform. New features are coming in. New things are happening in terms of the algorithm change and this and everything. So you really need to be well versed with execution. And on top of that, tracking and everything also comes in this phase, because without measuring, you don't know where you are actually going and where your campaign is actually going, right? And then comes optimizations. Once you have done the research, once you have planned, once you have done the execution, you get the data, you read this data, and then you understand what are the next steps to optimization, which further fuels your research with your own first party data, the data that you have gathered by yourself with your ideation and execution, and then it ties into further planning of tests and experiments, right? Now, why do you need this framework in the first place? This is, why most of the campaigns fail is that there's no structure. There are just random campaigns. Like if a new brand is coming, someone will see a YouTube video, they will set up an awareness campaign, they will set up a lead form, or they will set up a sales campaign, hoping with cross fingers that it works. And I'm not even kidding. It was just only yesterday, I am part of certain WhatsApp group. We were having a discussion with about other performance marketers, and somebody asked, I don't know why my campaigns are not working. I messaged that guy and we started talking, and he was not even knowing why his campaign was not working. I asked for the brand, and when I took a look at the website, I was able to point out 2-3 things that were wrong. I mean, they had to be resolved even before setting up the campaign in terms of landing page and store optimization. Secondly, when I took a look at their ad styles, they were using only 1 or 2 basic ad creatives, right? So there was no strategy that they had developed. Even after giving this solution, the person messaged me saying what else he should do. So if you don't want to be one of those performance marketers who are not having any direction to go to, then this video is for you. So keep watching, right? This framework gives you a proven roadmap that gives you confidence and clarity and where to go ahead, right? Even it's not saying that every campaign that you do will be hit from day one, but at least you will be able to understand where it all came from and where you are heading towards, and then you will be able to fuel that data back into the system with your own optimization, right? This is typically the face of us performance marketers when we set up campaigns and nothing works, but then there is no structure to it, there is no there is no strategy to it. How can we even expect results, right? That's why these 4 phases are really important. Now, what are these exact phases? The first phase is research, understanding the business, understanding the audience, understanding the competitor. Then we fuel that data to planning. Use the research data to approach campaigns, budgets, targeting, execution. Moving on to phase 3, where you do the actual execution of the campaigns, making sure tracking and everything is in right place, and then based on the data collected, you optimize, right? Let's dive into the research phase, right? Don't worry, in the future videos we'll get into the exact steps on how to do these things. In this video, it's about covering the different types of phases that we have. So first phase is research. Research consists of 3U framework. Again, a framework that I created for my own understanding, and I'm happy to share it with all of you. Understanding the product, business, and the services, right? So many times, you'll see many posts on LinkedIn, etc., right? I have also posted many times on LinkedIn, and I remember in 2023 when I posted a screenshot where I was running a real estate ad in the US, and our cost per conversion was around $32 or something. It was great because we had certain benchmark numbers that we were able to see from that industry in that specific area for the type of property that we were selling, right? So it was a great case study. I got the permission from the client and I posted it. The comment below there from other performance marketers was, how is your CPL too high? How is this campaign even a case study? But without them even knowing about what kind of product that I'm selling, they don't even know if it is $200,000 or $1.2 million, right? The cost of the property. And still they were seeing that number of $32 or $34 of cost per conversion. And they were shocked. This is what happens if you don't understand the business or the product or the services, right? If you're selling let's say a pencil, right, which is worth, let's say 12 rupees, and then to acquire this customer you are spending 20, 30, 40 rupees, questionable, right? If you don't have like an LTV plan to capture all that money. But then if you're not even aware of what kind of products and services that you're selling, what is the cost structure like, and through that only you'll be able to define what is the acceptable CPA for you. Through that you'll be able to define what kind of CPCs and CPMs that you will be comfortable with, taking of course certain benchmarks, because right now I'm assuming you don't have any campaign data with you, right? Once you have that, then you plug in your first party data to that as well. So that's why it's really important to understand the business, understand the products and services, and also unit metrics of how the business is structured. Then comes the competition. Not only to see what kind of ads that they are running, right? As performance marketer, we jump directly on, ads library and see what's going on. While that is good, but also getting quantitative data of what kind of keywords that they are running. We can use tools like SEMrush, SpyFu, etc. to do the competitor research. And once you have done that, you actually see their funnel journey also, right? Not just what kind of ad they are running, is it a static or a video, what kind of offer they are running, what is their landing page, what is their core messaging like, right? Because through this and combining it with your own product understanding, your own business's product understanding, you'll be able to plug in and find that unique positioning that you can test in the market. For whom? For your target audience. This is where the target audience stage is connected, because you'll be able to see what kind of messaging is working for your competitor, what kind of messaging that they are testing out in the market, assuming that certain messages have been, or certain creatives will be running for a long time. You'll be able to get a broad level understanding. You'll be able to see what kind of statements that they have mentioned on their lead form or product pages, etc., and gather all this data, check their reviews, find some things on Reddit if you can find related to the competitor, and then you'll be able to see how for the same product you can completely have like a different communication for the target audience, right? And when I say target audience, it does not mean 25 to 40 female in India, right? It goes deeper than that. We will see once we are in the target audience video. And by the way, all these things now can be done using the help of AI as well, which we will see as and when we make videos for such cases, right? So once you have this research in place, your next roadmap stage is to plan. Now this is a quadrant that you need to follow from one box to another, just like this. So first box is map the funnel, marketing funnel, right? So you define what is your top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, what stages your audience is in, and then how you'll be able to connect with them. That's when, in terms of connection, you'll be able to move to the quadrant number 2, which is define communication and targeting. right? This is where you plan your communication, you see what kind of targeting that you need to do, maybe if it is Google, what kind of keywords that you need to target, develop a media plan, right? And then create assets accordingly based on the plan that you have created. And then, picking the right platform also, like if you want to go to Meta, if you want to go to LinkedIn, if you want to do something on Google, because now that you have data on your target audience and your competitors, you will be able to see where the competitor is investing, which is a very good signal. And secondly, because you have understood your target audience in a broader sense, you will be able to understand which platforms are they hanging out on. Is it a B2B platform like LinkedIn, or is it like a trendy platform like Instagram, or is it like a old people's social media like Facebook? You'll be able to understand that, and once you have that, you'll be able to plan. Once the plan is ready, you build the funnel and execute, right? In terms of execution, which is phase number 3, you launch campaigns. So you really need to be updated with how these platform works, where everything is, because you don't want your plan to go down a drain because execution was not done in the right way. And I have seen this. I have personally made such mistakes. I have also seen my team members making certain mistakes, that when the campaign platform and everything happens, maybe some things are missed. I have also seen some bigger brands. I mean, the other day I saw one of the biggest clothing brand on their Meta ads library. They were not using headline on their Meta ads. There was no headline, right? So certain things happen. I have also seen certain examples on Meta where I reached out to a founder on LinkedIn when I saw one of their ads which was run through a different Facebook page, right? Like another brand's Facebook page, not even like a third party Facebook page, another brand's Facebook page. So these mistakes can happen during execution. So we really need to be updated with the platform. And this is more about, doing the practice and not being ignorant of the changes that are happening on the platform, right? And then setting tracking and attribution. Why? Because without tracking, it's like you're going into a dark forest without any lamp. You don't know what you will be coming across, right? And it's very dangerous. So you need to set up your pixels, you need to set up your offline conversions if it is possible. You need to configure your UTMs and then stay true to those UTMs. Again, common mistakes that can happen over here is that you set up a different UTM structure, your team member setups a different UTM structure, and then when you are doing analysis, nothing makes sense. Everything seems divided. You don't want that to happen, right? And then adding automations and scaling. So for example, you are doing lead generation ads. So a lead is generated. One of the common pitfalls is that the leads don't get contacted within the 24 hours, right? Like right now at this point of time, I should say even within 2 to 3 hours, if it is like a regular time of getting contacted, it should be done. But in many cases, this does not happen. That's why automation and scaling comes in place. You can send them a WhatsApp message, you can send them an email to establish one touch point as soon as a lead is established. Now with AI, you can actually set up calls also, right? Some automated pre-sales call can happen the moment a form is filled, while your human salesperson takes their time as and when they are free to get in touch with the user, right? So this is how you'll be able to use automation and scaling in the execution and make sure your live execution engine is on, based on the planning, which is again based on the research that you have done, right? The last part, you have now gathered data after so much effort into research, planning, and then finally doing execution. You wait for certain data to be collected, so that you read that data, and then you, based on the reading that you do, right, you'll be able to see which metrics need to be worked on, right? Is it the CTR? Is it the CPM? Is it the cost per conversion? Like the cost per lead or cost per qualified lead? Is it the purchase value when it comes to e-commerce? Is it the average order value? Whatever it is, you will be able to see it. But one thing that I would say over here is that I have seen many performance marketers go haywire after improving a certain metric, right? They will identify CTR, and then they will be like, oh, how to increase CTR. But while it is good to pick certain metric and optimize for it, never lose an eye for the complete funnel, because never is going to be a case that these metrics work in silos. Everything is connected to something else. Like for example, if your CPM is high but your CTR is also high, your eventual CPC will be low, right? Cost per click will be low. That is how mathematics works. Now if you want to really improve your CTRs, right, so much so that your CPMs actually go high, too high, because now you're targeting very premium audience with that very narrow messaging, your CPCs may be impacted in a negative way. I'm just giving an example to you, right? It is not that this will happen. I'm just giving an example. So you need to really draw a line of how these metrics are connected. Pick one and try to optimize, and also make sure that it is not negatively impacting another metric, right? And through that, through the reading of the data, you'll be able to create hypothesis, you'll be able to create test, which again tie in with your research. After 4 comes 1 in this diagram. You tie in with your research, you change based on the data that you have collected now, because now this is a data that you personally own, you have verified this is your real data. You go back to the planning stage, see what needs to be fixed, what new offers, what new messaging, what new landing page things you need to test, execute them, and then collect data and do the optimization. This is how the 4 phases of performance marketing keeps on going in circle, keeps on going in circle, keeps on going in circle, right? The moment you stop the circle at the 4th point, your campaigns are, even if they are performing really well, they will eventually die out, right? So as a performance marketer, if you have found certain successful campaigns, while you scale them, you still need this engine to keep on going to find your next best thing as soon as the first one is about to retire. I've heard many horror stories where the set scale campaign has gone wrong and then there is nothing left. So the account actually goes down really, really bad, and then it has to be built up again, right? So that's it for this video. I hope you understood the framework, you understood the roadmap as a roadmap that we as performance marketers can take, and using these 4 phases we can move towards success for any type of business out there, right? In the next videos, we'll dive deep into each of these phases. We will see technical and executional level stuff for each phase, how to do research, how to do planning, what are the best practices when it comes to execution, and what are the KPIs that are there that we can really take in terms of optimization, and how to do them as well. Platform specific strategies for Meta, Google, and LinkedIn. AI uses in performance marketing. So while this framework was created, when AI didn't exist, ChatGPT was not there. But since ChatGPT has come and other AI platforms have come, I have been able to use AI in a lot of ways in my day-to-day use case for performance marketing. I'll show you that in the coming videos. And as and when we find opportunities to talk about real campaign examples, I'll plug that in. So thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already to stay on this journey, and comment which phase do you usually skip or struggle with, and I'll be able to help you out in the comments. And like this video so that it reaches more and more performance marketers and help them out just like it helped you. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.